Hello Aquarius, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of March 19th through 25th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing, okay? Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have a Knight of Cups. Let's put that into some context with our Dove and Serpent spread. And as I lay these cards out, I do just want to say if there's anything that you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments down below, okay? And now let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. And we are not going to look at that until the very end. We're going to leave it right there. And hopefully that'll tie everything together, you know, give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the very end of things. So please stick around till the end of the video. Looking around here, we see some major arcana, some fire, some water, some air, some earth, and some air, and then some major arcana. So it's a pretty decent balance of cards. We do have a couple of court cards here. These two air cards down here at the bottom, I think, are qualities that are kind of mixed in with your personality a little bit, okay? I don't think they are separate people. I think the person that we're really kind of dealing with this week is this water sign person. They may be a Cancer, they may be a water sign generally, or they may be someone who has, there's some emotional communication going on with this person, okay? I think that you are typically someone who you don't really, you're nice, right? You're a kind person. You don't like to be rude. You don't like to reject people, push people away. You tend to be very inviting. I think that you're someone who wants to give everybody a chance, you know? And I think that there is this water sign person that is coming back into your life. I feel like you've already tried to establish some boundaries with this person, but I feel like they're being kind of persistent. You know, it seems to me like they're just kind of bringing you some more gifts. They're sending you flowers. They're kind of, they're trying to get your attention in these maybe not so subtle ways. And I think that it's kind of an issue because you have already told them no, okay? We see this Three of Wands crossing this this Knight of Cups right now. And so it feels like it's really going to be a question of you maintaining these boundaries, you know. It feels like they are being rather persistent, and it's, in some ways, it's starting to wear you down a little bit. They're starting to frustrate you a little bit. And I think there's this concern really about how to handle it. You want to be, you know, you want to be kind, you want to be tolerant and accepting and understanding, you want to be compassionate, but at the same time, you have to maintain your integrity, your self-respect, and you have to say no, okay? It feels like this is a romantic thing to me, but it also could be something related to a work situations, a family member, something in the home, something, you know, in your private life. I think there are deeper implications here. It's not so much about this water sign person who is just being a bit of a pest, honestly. This is more about your confidence in your decisions. It's more about you establishing boundaries, okay? So this is about you. It's not about this other person. They, I think, are just the practical, real-life way that this energy is manifesting. Okay, and this is really, I think, a need to establish those boundaries and to maintain your integrity and your strength of character, your confidence in the decisions that you make, your confidence in the boundaries that you set with other people in your life and new people coming into your life and past people maybe that feel like they can come back into your life, right? Which I think this water sign person, this Cancer person, I think is someone that you have dealt with before. It could be an ex. It could be somebody at work that is, trying to cross that boundary or trying to impose on you in some way. It could be purely professional and work related, and they're just kind of overstepping that boundary a little bit, asking you to do maybe more work than you should, or they're just trying to get in a little bit too close. Okay. In the recent past, we've got this universe or world card telling me that this is someone from the past. This was a situation that you thought you had already put an end to, right? You thought this was done and gone in the past. There no loose ends there. But that person's coming back, right? So there was something either that some opening that you gave them, perhaps some kind of ambiguity that you offered. Now, I'm not saying this is the case, and obviously, when somebody, when you end a relationship of any kind, romantic or not, when you end a relationship, you say no to someone, that should be it, right? And I think we all know that that's not always the case. Sometimes people do, maybe they just don't get it, and they try again, right? So it's not anything that you've done that has left the door open for this person. But what the cards are saying, I feel like, at least with what I'm seeing here, especially with these major arcana, is that we are in the process of learning how to establish our boundaries and keep them, right? Whether or not, I don't know this situation, this could be a hypothetical situation with this water sign person. We need to make sure that we establish our boundaries in a way that is final, a way that is strong and powerful, and does not leave the door open, does not lead to any ambiguity, any confusion. It needs to be clear, cut, dry, and done, So this is a situation that I think you thought you had all wrapped up in the past, okay? I'm getting a T name involved with this situation. I don't know if this Cancer person, this water sign person, this Knight of Cups, I don't know if this is a T name person or has a T as their first or last initial. But I am feeling like it may be someone that you were sort of close with, maybe friends, maybe more than friends, maybe co-workers, associates, colleagues, but it got a little personal. You were friendly, at least. But I think that they exhibited some behaviors that you didn't like, okay? Either they asked you to do something that you weren't comfortable with, or they tried to impose upon you in some way, okay? And it really, I think, offended your sense of dignity and self-respect, your sense of honor, your character, your kind of moral compass. Maybe they asked you to lie about something at work. You know what I mean? Or they asked you to cover for them in some way, or, an infinite number of possibilities. But I really do think that it kind of violated your trust. It violated your moral compass, your principles a little bit. And I think you shut it down. You closed that situation off. You thought you had it just cut and dry, no questions, no confusion. You said no and you meant it, right? But I see that they're kind of like back in the mix a little bit again. Like they still kind of need some assistance from you, or they still are trying to, cross that boundary again. And at the top of the path of the dove, we have the Eight of Wands. This is basically, you have your archers set up at your perimeter, and as soon as they see this person coming, they're just letting loose those arrows. There's no question, there's no second thoughts, there's no waffling about it, there's no vacillation. It's just shoot the arrows and shut that thing down. And that's kind of the energy that you need right now. You need to just act in a very decisive way and be confident and assertive in your decision. Don't give this person an opportunity by saying, well, maybe I'll rethink things, well, I'll consider it, I'll let you know tomorrow. No, you have to make your decision, which I think you have already made, because I think this is a past situation that's kind of coming back. And it feels like you want to stick to the same decision. And it's just a matter of acting and being assertive, being adamant about it before you start to kind of think things through again, before you start to question or doubt your first decision. It's almost like they're coming back around just to be like, okay, are you sure? I'm going to ask you one more, are you sure? And they're hoping that you're going to kind of listen to this Princess of Swords down here at the bottom and be like, well, maybe I should give it a second thought. Maybe I should consider it for a while longer. The Princess of Swords here is trying to fight off this person, right? Trying to fight off the kind of the dialogue itself. It's just like you don't want to have even the discussion. So we're hoping that our first line of defense, these archers, will just shut everything down, keep this person or this situation away, and it's not going to get very close to us. Now, that thing about the archers, it's a long range kind of thing, they're not very accurate at long range, but you can shoot many arrows at once, and hopefully something will hit, and the situation will be done, right? It'll be over. If you have to kind of get in a dialogue with this person, that's where the challenge is really going to be. As soon as you let them get a little bit closer, well, now you have to do the more hand-to-hand kind of combat, And that's, I think, a little bit more difficult because once they're already kind of through the door, like once you let somebody into your house, it might be a little bit difficult to let them leave. So it's better to just not let them in. And I think that's what the Princess of Swords is saying down here, that we're hoping that we can keep them out of the house because if they do cross that threshold, it's going to be difficult to get them to leave again, And, but of course, if it does come to that, you have to still, invoke this this sword's energy. I think that's why we have the Prince of Swords over here on the path of the Serpent, because if you need to, you can step it up and, you can remove that person, right, by any means necessary. So, I don't think the cards are indicating that there's, a literal person that's going to come and force themselves into your home. Okay, that sounds really scary. I don't think that's what's going on. That's a metaphor for this kind of energy. Maybe this person, maybe a situation like this that is kind of testing your resolve. I almost expect to see like a 9 of Wands here, something to show that you've made a decision and you're not budging on it, right? Because I feel like you've made the decision, but for whatever reason, this person, maybe it's a group of people too, I don't know. But this person feels like they can circle back around and ask you again, thinking that maybe you'll give a different answer. Okay. In the immediate future, we have the High Priestess. I don't think you're going to give another answer. I think you have made your decision, and it is a matter of sticking to it. We have major arcana here on both sides of the central cards, the core issue here. Major arcana on both sides. So in the past, major arcana. In the future, major arcana. So it's not something that you need to reconsider, and I think you know that. I think you trusted your instinct the first time when you said no, or whatever, probably a more complex answer than that, but you made your decision the first time around, and it's coming back around again. You know your decision already. You already have the intuition. You already have the kind of spiritual understanding of what you want or don't want in this situation. Okay? And it could be romantic. It could be professional. I don't know. So I feel like there really is no doubt about what your decision should or would be. It's just a matter of you being assertive enough to maintain your position. It's just about you really with this fire and this air, because the Princess of Swords is not really that skilled at sword fighting. The Eight of Wands is a lot of arrows in every direction, not very accurate though, you know? So it's almost like your defenses aren't really at 100%, you know? It's a challenge to you, I think, to kind of maintain and to really protect this Three of Wands that we see right in the middle, and that is your integrity, your self-respect, that is your confidence, that is your decision, this is your spiritual force and fire, you know, this is the decision that you made and you want to stick to it. And so it's almost as if you do have to kind of defend that a little bit, you know, as this person or as this situation circles back around and they ask the same question but maybe in a different way, hoping you'll provide a different answer. You've got to really kind of muster all of your strength to shut that down, you know, to maintain your resolve and stick to your decision. Now, as we move to the path of the Serpent, again we see this air energy, the Prince of Swords here. This is really you kind of taking things to the next level if you need to. If it comes to a point where, for whatever reason, they're just not taking no for an answer, or they're trying to enter into a debate with you to try to convince you to go along with them or join their team or whatever this situation's regarding. This is you really turning things up a notch and, you know, escalating that debate if you have to, right? Removing this situation by any means necessary. So if you have to get loud, you know, if you have to get very assertive in your voice and in the words that you use, well, that's what you're going to do. You are this very kind-hearted person, you know. You have tremendous potential for strength, and you have a really strong and bright, fiery spirit here in the center. It just feels like it's kind of being tested right now by this situation, you know. And again, it's interesting how, you know, you asserted yourself the first time, but then the situation's coming back around, and you have to do it again. You know, it's just like the universe is saying, okay, that you gave your answer, but are you sure? You know, so it's not about this person, it's not about this situation specifically, because I think you know already what you want or don't want out of this situation, but it's just how are you going to stick to your guns? You know, how are you going to keep that resolve to not budge on what you believe, what you feel? And with the High Priestess, this is definitely something to look at in that way. Like it's not about this situation, it's about your reaction to the situation. It's about whether or not you're going to give in, you know, or yield, or compromise. Compromise is good, but we're talking about compromising your self-respect, your spirit, your integrity. That I don't think you want to compromise. Okay. So the next card in the environment is this, well, this is the Eon, or the Judgment card. In the environment. So this feels to me like this is a pretty major test for you. You know, I wonder if in your past you have had issues with being somewhat easily convinced of things. You know, it feels like maybe this is kind of a trend for you, or something that you've kind of been through before, something that you know is where a lot of your work needs to be done, and that is in standing up for yourself by making a decision and shutting and locking the door behind you, right? This card represents a definite decision in regards to the past. Okay, so we have that past, we have this universe or world card in the past. So you've made the decision. So why is this coming back around again? Maybe you didn't lock the door. You know, it's almost as if the universe doesn't believe that you really have made this decision final decision. You know, so it's something I think you've been through before, and I'm trying to pick the right words here because I feel like it is something where you've made decisions before. You've set your mind to something, you've stated something unequivocally and adamantly, and you've asserted yourself, but then when really tested, you yield. You know? When it really comes down to it, and with a little bit of persistence, you fold. You give in. So I think that's why this is where it is. This is in the position of your environment. This is what is literally surrounding you right now, is this opportunity to make that final decision, shut and lock the door, and don't let anything push its way in to compromise your decision, your integrity, your spirit, your will. Okay? So it really is about standing up for ourselves this week. And the very next card is this Death card. Now, what we have when we shut and lock the door, when we make a decision and we do not compromise our integrity, we will not budge when we make a decision of this magnitude, let's say. We will not budge. Nothing is going to force its way through. We're not going to fold. We're not going to waffle. We're not going to compromise. We're not going to give in. We're not going to yield. We're not going to change our minds. That feeling of power is going to be a new feeling for you. You know, I think because of this card, in what I'm thinking is a past for you, kind of a history, a personal history. It's almost going to be erased. You know, if you have kind of a long rap sheet of kind of getting into situations like this, you know, where you don't really want to do something, you decide one way or the other, but then people kind of are able to convince you to do otherwise. You know, I think we're going to erase that history. We're going to wipe that off the books. We're going to start over. And I think these two cards together are really, really wonderful cards, because it's not only that we're making a decision to step into a new power, right? This fire energy. This is pure fire with this Eon or Judgment card. It's a baptism by fire, you know. This is the one situation that this time it's going to be different, right? For whatever reason, this is the penultimate experience, the penultimate situation where this is going to change. And the universe is providing you this situation again as the opportunity to really take that definite step into the future, into a brand new power, right? I don't want to say a new you. I don't want to say you're changing. I don't want to say it's going to be a different life, a different world, because I don't believe that we do change fundamentally. Okay? You are the same divine spirit that you have always been. It's just a matter now of stepping into a expanded sense of presence, of being, of power. Okay? So we're not changing ourselves. You know, this Death card isn't saying, well, you're going to be a brand new person next week. You're not. You're still going to be you. But I think you're expanding your awareness. You're shifting your spiritual point of view a little bit, right? And with that comes confidence and power and assertiveness and this High Priestess energy, a real kind of divine knowledge, understanding, this gnosis, this intuition, this awareness, really. And it is going to be like a new start for you. And I really feel like it's erasing all of this past, all of the rap sheet, all of the track record, all of the history of these kinds of things and your reaction to them, right? So this time around, it's almost like we can forget that we've been in this position a dozen times before. So, logic or statistics or whatever would kind of allow us to predict how it's going to go. We can wipe all that away. Can make the decision intentionally to wipe all of that away. This is the first time this has happened, and it's going to be the last. That's the intention that we have to set out. I don't think it will literally be the last time that you are tested in your resolve, in your decisions, especially when we have the 5 of discs at the end of the path of the serpent. Things are just getting started for you. Things are just getting started for you. But stepping into this new awareness, this expanded sense of being and presence and power, is opening up the possibilities for you to really move mountains. I think you have such power that when you set your mind to something, you can accomplish it. You can see it through to the very end. The problem is you set your mind to something, something else comes along, someone else comes along, and you fold. And you change your mind. Something or someone or even yourself convinces you to do something else. So we don't have that stick-to-itiveness, right? I think that's a word. So that's what we're kind of aiming for, is this commitment to our decisions. And with that, you can really affect change in your life, and you can really build the things that you're trying to build in your life. And I think that's a really magical thing. So to have a 5 of Pentacles discs here at the end, this is saying, well, this isn't the end. This is just the beginning now. It's the beginning of you manifesting and creating, molding your world, your environment, more in accordance with your will, right? More in line with what you believe, your character, your principle, your integrity, right? Based on your own decisions, nobody else's decisions. So whatever this is going to look like next week, next month, down the road, it's going to be because you have committed to that and you've made the decisions. Nobody is, going to be coming into your aura, your circle, and influencing you, convincing you to do something that goes against your kind of core beliefs. Okay? So this is a real moment, real opportunity for power for you. And power always sounds like such a negative word, right? The people in power, the power structure. But we have our personal power, and that is the power to set our intent and follow through with it, right? We set our intent to expand our awareness, to be more present, to pursue our goals, nobody else's goals, our goals. Putting our intent into everything that we do. That takes a lot of power. A lot of power. Let's look at the mystery card. I had an idea of what I thought this was going to be. But now I don't think it's going to be such. I'm kind of thinking some water energy here. Because we don't have a lot of water energy. It's not really a time for emotional stuff. I think the emotional stuff really is what's coming into your life again, what's circling back around to test you, right? This whole test thing is manifesting as this emotional situation. Maybe this water sign person, maybe Cancer person, that's kind of coming back around again, So I think that's where the emotions are. I don't know that we need any more water energy. It could be at the very end of this, then we're going to find some good water energy, some useful, much needed water energy. But let's find out. Even better than that, we have the Fool energy. So the Fool is very interesting because it is really, it's someone who is so full of surprises that they are going to really shock and astound everyone around them. So I'm getting this feeling like when you start standing up for yourself and not being, I don't like the term like a pushover. I don't like saying that. But when you start sticking to your guns, making your decisions and not folding, people might be a little offended by that. That's how you're going to really find out who your true friends are, and you're going to really find the people that truly care about you, because they're going to be the ones that are going to cheer you on, that are going to love this side of you, this new power that you have. They're going to support you, and they're going to be there and cheer you on, and they're going to love it, right? The people that get offended by that, or even call you names, whatever, those are not your people. Those are not your people. And that's what the Fool has to endure. That's kind of the curse of the Fool. To have that freedom, that power. Because power is freedom, right? The power to set your intention and stick to it. That's the freedom to do whatever you will. Okay? And that's a difficult thing to maintain, to hold on to. And it's kind of opening yourself up to a lot of kind of funny looks from other people. When you stand up for yourself, when this situation comes back around, and if you do have to escalate your swords energy and step it up a little bit, turn up the volume a little bit, you're going to offend some people. People are going to be a little pissed off. And you know what? Tough shit. Tough shit. Because you have every right to hold on to your principles, maintain your point of view, your kind of spiritual reality, your beliefs, your integrity, your character, your force and your fire. You have every right to maintain that. And if people don't like the way it looks when you stand up for yourself, those are not your people. Those are not your people. So this is a very interesting week for you. I think it's going to be exciting. I think you're going to feel this kind of new sense of freedom, of opportunity. The sky is kind of the limit now. The universe is kind of the limit now. I feel like it's going to be a real sense of freedom and joy, really. When you kind of learn how it feels to do this, you're going to want to do it all the time, But with the Fool can get carried away and just kind of blindly leap into really bad situations. You've got to maintain some clarity. You've got to maintain connection with Spirit, with the Three of Wands, with that High Priestess, so that you are doing things in accordance with your will, and it's not just this, the Fool just wants to expand. The Fool just wants to go in every direction. It doesn't care what it's doing. It just wants to go, do everything. All experiences are welcome. So it could get into some trouble. It doesn't have a direction. It doesn't have focus. So you need to maintain that focus with the Three of Wands. Make sure that all of this freedom and this power that you are now wielding is there to assist your spiritual being, your spiritual integrity, your character, your your set of principles, your moral compass, etc., whatever you want to call it. And that's the direction that the Fool needs, right? So this is kind of that unlimited, undifferentiated power. You need to focus it a little bit. And I think that's going to be a big part of next week's reading, So I'm really excited for you. I think this was a really good reading. I think you're going to have a really wonderful week when all is said and done. And I hope you'll leave me some comments and let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling. We're going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, click on the link that's right here. You can have access to all of the extended readings. This was your weekly reading, March 19th through 25th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.